Hello everyone. We are in part 12 of the chapter Respiration and Circulation. In today's part, we are basically going to study composition of blood. Now we know that blood is the major fluid connective tissue, and this fluid connective tissue, basically blood, it helps in transport of gases as well as exchange of gases as well as transport of nutrients. Now when we see blood, it is basically made up of two main components. The two main components are plasma and formed elements. Plasma, it makes around 55% of the blood, whereas the formed elements, it constitutes about 44% of the blood. Now, formed elements means what? The blood cells or the cells which are formed in the blood, they are called as formed elements. Whereas plasma, it is the watery or fluid part of the blood. Today in this part, we are going to study majorly the formed cells, which is the erythrocyte, which is found abundant in the blood. So let us study with the help of slides, RBCs or erythrocytes in detail. Okay, now respiration, circulation, composition of blood. Now when we say blood composition, the study of blood is called as hematology. Okay, the study of blood is called as hematology. An average adult has about 4 to 6 liters of blood. Whereas when we say blood, it is red color fluid connective tissue, and this red color fluid connective tissue is derived from embryonic mesoderm. We know that cells, we have three layers, okay? That is ectoderm, mesoderm, yes, and endoderm. Ectoderm is the outermost layer, mesoderm, it is the middle layer, whereas endoderm, it is the innermost layer. Now this blood, it is basically formed from the mesoderm layer. Now when we say blood, it is slightly alkaline and it has a pH of about 7.4. 7.4, we know that below 7, it is alkaline in nature. When we see acidic and basic conditions, so 7.4, it comes under alkaline. Then it is salty and it is viscous fluid. Viscous fluid means what? Viscous means thick fluid-like structure. Okay, so blood, it is alkaline, having pH 7.4. It is salty and it has a viscous fluid. It is heavier than water. Obviously, when it is thick, it will be always heavier in water. Now, blood, it basically consists of two main components. As I said, the fluid plasma, which is 55%, and next is the formed elements, that is blood cells, which is 44%. Now, these can be separated by centrifugation. Now, what exactly is centrifugation? Now, if you had gone to the pathological lab, you give a vial of blood, a certain ml of blood. Okay. So what do they do if they go for a test called as total blood count or RBC count? So RBC count, what do they do in RBC count? They take your certain amount of blood and then they centrifuge it. Centrifuge means what? A centrifugal force is applied to the blood so that all the cells which are heavier, they will settle down, whereas the plasma, it will form the supernatant layer. Here with the help of diagram, you can see that a test tube is taken, okay, a vial of blood is taken, and in that blood, it is applied to a centrifugal force. Now, When the centrifugal force is applied according to the molecular weight, you can see that red blood cells, it settles down. Then comes WBC cells, and then the uppermost layer is the plasma. Now, first component, major component is plasma. Plasma, it constitutes about 55% of blood. Now, what is plasma? It is straw colored. Straw colored means what? Light colored, light yellow colored. Okay, straw means what? Have you seen dry grass? That is called as straw. So when we see plasma, it is a straw colored, slightly alkaline and viscous fluid. Viscous fluid means what? Thick fluid. Now, plasma, it forms about 55% of the blood. That means major part of the blood, when you see it is watery in structure. So that is constituted by plasma. When we see components of plasma, in your Maharashtra State Board, the components chart is given, how the plasma is made up of. So as I said, the major part is water, about 90%. Then comes proteins. Proteins, it basically has albumin, globulin, properdin, prothrombin, and fibrinogen. Then it consists of inorganic salts, that is sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, ferrous, manganese, chloride, bicarbonate, and phosphorus ion. Others constitutes 1 to 2%. Then food, it consists of a blood consists of glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, triglycerides. Triglycerides means what? It is a form of cholesterol. Then waste in the form of urea, uric acid, and creatinine. Then also it consists of regulators, that is hormones. We know our body has different type of hormones, and all the different hormones, they have different roles to play. Then it consists of enzymes and vitamins. Also, it consists of anticoagulants. That means it does not allow clotting of blood. That means formation of lumps. That is heparin. Then cholesterol and antibodies, and then dissolved gases like oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. Now, next part is formed elements. As I said, when we see blood, about 55% of blood is made up of plasma, whereas 44% of blood, it is formed of formed elements. Now, when we see the blood cells that are produced in the body, they are collectively called as formed elements. Now, when we see human blood, it consists of 3 types of formed elements. That is red blood corpuscles, which is called as erythrocytes or RBCs. Then the other form element or other kind of cell is WBC. Okay, and third type of cell is platelets. In today's part, as I said, we are going to study in detail about erythrocytes, or it is also called as red blood corpuscles. Erythrocytes are most abundant cells in the human body. That means they are most commonly, or they are found in higher number, you can say. The major number of blood cells in the human body is erythrocytes. What is the shape? They are circular, biconcave, and enucleated. Circular, round in shape, biconcave. I'll show you with the help of diagram. Biconcave. Okay, that means in the center it is narrow, whereas at the ends it is bulged, or it is circular, just like a dumbbell shape. And it is enucleated. Enucleated means what? They do not have nucleus. But whereas when we see the blood of camel and llama, now llama means what? It is a double hump camel. Usually when you go to Rajasthan and all, you see a single hump camel. But when you go to colder regions, at the higher part, like in north side, there you can see a camel which has 2 humps. So in them, what you can see, the oxygen level, as you go higher, at higher altitude, the oxygen level is very much low. So they have more RBCs. So that is why they in camel and llama, they are nucleated. Whereas The shape is circular, biconcave, and enucleated. Enucleated, that means absence of nucleus in RBC cells. See, this is circular shape of RBC cells. This is the upper view. Whereas when we see the side view, just like a dumbbell, if you have seen dumbbell, the upper part of the dumbbell or the ends of the dumbbell is circular, whereas the middle part of the dumbbell is narrow. See, in the center it is narrow, whereas at the ends it is circular. Now, why it is biconcave? Why the RBCs, they are biconcave in shape? So that at the ends, the cytoplasm can, what you can say, accommodate large amount of hemoglobin. So the larger surface area is provided at the ends. See, these are also the RBC cells, which are circular. This is the top view. Now we see that the RBCs, they are basically red in color. Why they are red in color? Because they consist of oxygen carrying pigment, which is called as hemoglobin. RBC cells, they have hemoglobin pigment, and this hemoglobin pigment, they are oxygen carrying pigment. Now the RBC count or the erythrocytes, it differs in males as well as in females. In males, the average number is about 5.1 to 5.8 millions per cubic millimeter. Whereas in females, it is about 4.3 to 5.2 million cubic millimeter. Now this is called as RBC count. RBC count means what? In your blood, how many cells of RBCs are present? So this total RBC, how many the count, how much number of RBC cells are produced in the blood? So that is called as total RBC count. Now the average lifespan of RBC is 120 days. Why it is always specific 120 days? Because RBC cells, they never divide like other cells. Other cells, they keep on dividing. But RBC cells, when we see, they have a lifespan of only 120 days. The process of formation of RBC is called as erythropoiesis. Now, RBC cells are continuously formed in a body. Even if you go for blood donation, after 15 to 20 days, you can see new RBC cells are formed. That blood is recovered. Okay. So the process of formation of RBC, it is called as erythropoiesis. Now, RBC cells, where are RBC cells produced? RBC cells, they are produced in the hemocytoblast, or they are also produced in the reticulocytes. Hemocytoblast means what? They are the cells, they are the major stem cells, and from the single stem cells, different types of blood cells are formed. As I said, WBCs, RBCs, platelets. So all these cells, they are basically formed from a major stem cell, and this major stem cell, ये जो main major stem cell है, उसका नाम है hemocytoblast. Okay, so RBC cells, they are produced from hemocytoblast or reticulocytes. The erythropoietic organ of fetus is liver and spleen, and in adult it is mainly red bone marrow. Now the erythropoietic organ, what do you mean by erythropoietic organ? The site where production of RBC cells takes place. So which is the site in case of fetus? In the fetus, basically at the very early stage, yolk sac. Okay. First, the RBC cells in the early stage of gestation, that is early stage of pregnancy. Okay. The yolk sac, it forms the major erythropoietic organ. Later in 3rd to 4th month, when 3 to 4 months is completed of pregnancy, what happens? Liver and spleen, RBCs are formed in liver and spleen. And later, in the adult stage, what is the main site? Red bone marrow. What do you mean by bone marrow? Now, when we see long bones, the central part of the long bones, that is called as bone marrow. Okay, so there the production of RBC takes place. So that is called as erythropoietic organ. Now, vitamin B12, folic acid, and heme protein, these are all required for production of RBC cells. If you have good amount of vitamins, folic acid, then you will never suffer from what deficiency of RBC, that is anemia. Now, the old and worn out RBCs are destroyed in liver and spleen. Now, old and worn out RBC, as I said that the RBC, the lifespan of RBC is 120 days. After 120 days, what happens? The lifespan is over. So obviously, the RBC cells, the lifespan is finished. So the dead RBC cell, where they are taken to liver and spleen so that they are destroyed. That is why liver and spleen, they are called as graveyard of RBCs. Now, condition with increase in number of RBCs, it is called as polycythemia. When you have large number of RBCs, okay, normal average we have seen, okay, it is 5.5 million cubic millimeter. So when the RBC, when there is increased number of RBC, this condition is called as polycythemia. Whereas decrease in the number of RBC, it is called as erythrocytopenia. Now the hormone erythropoietin produced by the kidney cell stimulate the bone marrow for the production of RBC. Now we know erythropoietic organ. Okay, erythropoietic organ means what? Where the production of RBC takes place. Now, in adult, the production of RBCs takes place in bone marrow. But for the production of RBC cells, stimulation is needed. A certain hormone acts. So, which is that hormone which which is that hormone which helps in production of RBC cells? So, the name of the hormone is erythropoietin. So, this erythropoietin hormone, it stimulates the kidney cells, and then the kidney cells, they help in production of RBCs in the bone marrow. Now, mature RBC, when we say mature RBC, it is devoid of nucleus. Devoid means what? It does not have, okay. So, mature erythrocyte, it is devoid of nucleus, mitochondria, or other membrane bound cell organisms. That means mature erythrocyte, it does not have either nucleus, it does not have mitochondria, and it does not have other membrane bound organelles like Golgi complex and all. Now, why is it so? So that more oxygen can be retained in the RBC cells, so that oxygen will not be spent. Expenditure of oxygen will be less. Okay. So more and more oxygen can be gained in the RBC cells. That is why erythrocytes, mature erythrocyte, it does not consist nucleus, mitochondria, and other membrane bound organelles. Now, when we see RBC cells, the cytoplasm of RBC cells, it is rich in a pigment called as hemoglobin. Its cytoplasm, that is stroma, it is rich in hemoglobin and oxygen carrying proteinaceous pigment that gives red color to the RBC cells and blood. Now, RBC cells, it contains an enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase. We had studied in the part of respiration, yes, about the carbonic anhydrase. Yes, it helps in breaking of sodium bicarbonate ions. Getting it? Not sodium, bicarbonate ions. Okay, so it contains an enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase, whereas the red color of red color of blood, it is basically because of hemoglobin pigment in the RBCs. Erythrocytes, they are responsible for transport of respiratory gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, thus maintaining pH and viscosity of blood. We had studied in respiration part, that is blood. One of the major function of blood is what? Transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And because of this transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide, what happens? pH of the blood is maintained, as well as viscosity, that is thickness of the blood, is also maintained. They also contribute in the process of blood clotting. What does RBC cells does? It helps in process of blood clotting. Blood clotting means what? If suppose if you get a cut or if you get a wound, you can see that blood emerges out. You start bleeding. But after some time, what happens? You stop bleeding, blood does not comes out. Okay. So why blood does not comes out? Because blood clots takes place. That means clumps of blood gathers and that does not allow bleeding. So that is called as blood clotting. Now, the hemocrit is the ratio of volume of RBCs to the total volume of blood. Now, what is hematocrit? Hematocrit means what? It is the ratio of volume of blood. Now, we know that in human, about 4 to 5 liters of blood is present. Okay. So, in that volume of blood, how much volume of RBCs, how much volume of RBCs are present? So, that value it is called as hematocrit value. And this hematocrit value, it is different for men as well as women. Now, each erythrocyte approximately contains about 270 million molecules of hemoglobin. Each erythrocyte cell, that means हर एक RBC cell में, each RBC cell, how much it consists of? About 20 or about 270 million molecules of hemoglobin. We know hemoglobin is one type of protein. Okay, so about 270 million molecules of hemoglobin are present in each RBC cells. Normal content of hemoglobin in blood of man is about 14 to 17 grams person. That means 100 in per what you can say in 100 grams. Okay, and in women it is about 13 to 15 grams person. Condition with less number of RBCs or less amount of hemoglobin, both is called as anemia. As I said that when there is deficiency of iron or deficiency of hemoglobin in your blood, what happens? You suffer from a disease called as anemia. So by taking supplements like folic acid, B complex, B complex, you can what you can say, you can increase the amount of RBCs. So that's it for today. We had studied in detail about erythrocytes. I hope you understood. So I end up with the lecture.